Scene Mom says, welcome to the new podcast from former Phoenix radio host Danny Cutler. Each week bringing you independent music, industry news, the occasional interview, and other fun segments. Let's get to it. Scene Mom says hello and welcome to episode 67. I'm Danny, your host and Scene Mom. And as always, I'm so glad you joined me. Thank you so much. Sorry that I missed a show last week. We had a friend in town for a couple of days and my studio became a guest room for a couple of nights. We have known Rob since high school. And I think that my husband has known him since junior high. So that's like 40 plus years. Crazy. I met him during our music department tour. It was either San Diego or San Francisco. I can't even remember which one now. Sophomore year of high school? That would be San Francisco. I had locked my viola case and promptly lost the key. He happened to have a matching key for his case. And 40 plus years later, the rest is history. It's always good when friends come and visit us in our new home. 2 years we've been here by the end of August. Crazy. I've also really been diving into work lately. I have started working out of a local business incubator once a week in order to not only have a little change of scenery, but to have some face time with actual people. Sometimes I get a little too wrapped up in my home office cave, which can be pretty limiting when you're trying to grow your business. People here really appreciate meeting in person, and I've noticed, at least from my point of view, it feels like more than in Phoenix. Though I admit it could also be my perspective, as I was getting pretty burned out on Phoenix before I moved, no pun intended. That being said, I've already had a few opportunities come my way thanks to just once a week in a different office. No one is going to know you exist unless you get out there and show them that you're here, and just doing it online sometimes is not enough. Another cool collaboration that I'm doing is with the Greater Gardner Chamber of Commerce. I've added my consulting service to a business bundle for a silent auction fundraiser for the chamber. It's another way to get myself in front of people. And there are really neat items to bid on. I'm really trying to restrain myself because there are probably a dozen things that I want to bid on. And some you don't even have to be in the area to see. I will link to it in the show notes if you want to take a look yourself. I am also running, there's a lot of things. I'm also running a newsletter special for the next month, and I'm going to tell you more about that during the marketing tip segment. So all in all, it's literally been business as usual here. I have a new segment on the show this week to introduce you to. Basically, it's a pick of the week of new music that has grabbed my attention immediately and I need to share. That, of course, will be mixed with the other music in the episode, so keep on listening. Also got music news, music history, and a little fluff news for you as well. But right now, let's get back to said music with the latest single from Phoenix band Ghost Moone. I just love lead singer Travis Perlman to death. He's such a sweetheart, so talented, the sweetest person you will ever meet. This song is called Everybody's Saying I Should Be Somewhere, and you're listening to What Scene Mom Says.
And I can finally see I'm filled with fire. This is Travis from Chrome Rhino, and you are listening to Scene Mom Says. We here at Chrome Rhino always listen to what Scene Mom says, and so should you.
You're listening to the Scene Mom Says podcast. Follow Scene Mom on Facebook at Scene Mom Says, or on Instagram at dcutleraz. Now it's time for your music news.
Yes, I would be remiss to not mention, remiss to not mention, I don't know my language. I would be a fool not to mention that Travis is also in the amazing band Chrome Rhino, so you should definitely look them up. All right, music news. Rock music is seeing a surprising revival in the streaming era. Once it was considered a fading genre, especially after the 2010s boom of hip-hop and pop, rock is experiencing some growth. According to mid-2025 data from Luminate, rock is one of the fastest growing genres in U.S. streaming. This resurgence is being driven by a mix of nostalgia, algorithmic discovery, and a new generation of genre-blending artists. Platforms like TikTok have played a major role in bringing older and lesser-known rock tracks to younger audiences, while curated playlists on services like Spotify and Apple Music have helped emerging rock acts gain traction. Bands such as Maneskin, Bring Me the Horizon, and the 1975 are blurring the lines between rock, pop, and electronic music, which makes it a little more accessible and relevant. Listeners are also gravitating towards the authenticity of live instruments and emotional performances, seeking something a little more tangible in the digital world that is dominated by algorithm-generated content. There's an interest in vinyl, live shows, and human-curated radio as fans look for a more personal connection to the music. However, the rock revival isn't without some challenges. The streaming economy still favors volume over artistry, making it difficult for many rock musicians, especially if you're not backed by a major label, to earn sustainable income. Touring costs remain really high, and concerns around AI-generated music and industry consolidation threatens the diversity in the scene. Now, despite the hurdles, rock does continue to adapt. It may not dominate the charts like it once did, but it is thriving in these new spaces, and it's fueled by fans, innovation, and a hunger for some real music with soul. FireAid, the massive star-studded benefit concert that was held in response to California's devastating wildfires back in January, raised an impressive $100 million to support recovery efforts. The event featured high-profile performances from artists like Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Olivia Rodrigo, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and even had a surprise Nirvana reunion. Broadcast to more than 50 million viewers worldwide, the concert was hailed as a unifying moment in a time of crisis. How soon we forget. As of July, FireAid has distributed $75 million of the total funds raised. The first $50 million went out in February to cover immediate needs like emergency housing, food, trauma care, and animal rescue. In June, another $25 million was allocated for longer-term support, including mental health services, rebuilding homes, and environmental cleanup. The remaining $25 million is expected to be distributed by the end of 2025, with a fall audit scheduled for December. Recently, there has been some misinformation going around about how the funds are being used, at least according to FireAid, so they issued a public statement. The organization emphasized that 100% of donations go directly to aid efforts with no administrative overhead. Grant decisions were vetted by Goldman Sachs or being audited by KPMG. All grantees are required to report how the funds are used, and many recipients say the support has been critical to their recovery. But not everyone is satisfied, of course. Congressman Kevin Kiley has called for a federal investigation into FireAid's grant process, raising concerns about whether all the money is reaching those most affected by the fires. Now, despite the scrutiny, FireAid has stood by its transparency and pointed to a list of over 100 local organizations that have already received funds, including the LA Regional Food Bank, Project Camp, and the Change Reaction. You know, if there was just federal funds that went to it, we might not have to worry about all of this. All right. Sir Paul McCartney's upcoming Got Back tour is stirring some outrage. Fans are fuming over steep ticket prices during pre-sales and general on-sales. Early reports describe insane or egregious costs, with pre-sale tickets pushing into the $1,000 to $1,300 range, and select seats reportedly reaching $1,500 or more. Even nosebleed sections started above $600, a far cry from what fans expected from the rock legend who's aiming to reach all audiences. Drama unfolded online as thousands joined massive Ticketmaster queues. Some venues logged over 200,000 eager fans experiencing wait times surpassing 90 minutes before even revealing the pricing. Complaints went across social media. Fans shared screenshots of standard seats showing $900 plus price tags despite being part of a fan presale. Dynamic pricing, Ticketmaster's algorithm-based model, which adjusts costs by demand, was blamed for driving up prices in real time. Some fans sarcastically said that presale codes meant little when prices spiked irrespective of access. Now, local reports from media like CBS Pittsburgh painted an even bleaker picture. Resale tickets for McCartney gigs in Pittsburgh soared into the thousands, with some going for more than $6,000 on secondary markets. A fan told reporters, "My limit is 300, but that was well below what most seats fetched, even for mid-tier options." Now, this backlash is drawing comparisons to Taylor Swift's 2023 Eras Tour, labeled by fans as a Beatlemania version of that debacle. Critics argue that dynamic pricing benefits resale platforms and scalpers more than devoted fans, effectively locking out longtime followers on fixed incomes. Industry insiders say rising production costs partly explain the shift. Oh, please. But the public sentiment is clear. Many feel priced out of seeing a living legend perform live. Now, as McCartney's tour nears and general ticket sales continue, fans and consumer advocates alike are really watching. Will venues or promoters respond, or will fans simply have to wait for prices to drop for another era entirely? It is not a tough option. Paul McCartney is a very, very rich man. He doesn't need to charge what he does for tickets. And he's also been around long enough to where he can say to Ticketmaster, this is what we're doing. And the costs can be covered. It's not a big deal to do that. But the whole idea of going to see these major artists and having to pay hundreds of dollars just for nosebleed seats, that really has to stop. But it's not going to stop because people keep buying the tickets. The problem is us, the purchasers. We go to these shows, we pay the prices even though we bitch and moan. They're just not going to stop unless money drops. And that's not happening from what I can see. All right, that's your music news this week, along with my commentary. And if you have feedback, other thoughts, or music news to share, you can always send an email my way, scenemomsays@gmail.com.
My take it, I just can't take it. Never let me go. I'm only praying, heaven let me go. I just can't say it, I just can't say it. Never let me go. I only love you, I only love you. I'm on the edge and I'm getting close to the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. She's in my bed as I lose control. Passion explodes with ritual. I feel the flames as they burn my soul. Sacred skin can't let you go. Lost in her sin, she's screaming loud. Dancing in lust, let's worship now.
Another from Phoenix, that was darkwave band Paper Foxes and their latest single, Ritual. I'm so happy for them. They are on the lineup in a couple of weeks for a Clan of Zymox show. That band alone is an 80s deep cut. So awesome. C-Mom says it's time for some music history. On July 23rd in 1983, Metallica released their debut album, Kill 'Em All, redefined heavy metal and launched the thrash metal movement. It became a cult classic despite limited mainstream exposure. On July 24th in 1978, the movie Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band premiered. Starring the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton, the film adaptation of the Beatles' iconic album was critically panned, but remains a curious pop culture moment. On July 25th in 1965, Bob Dylan went electric at the Newport Folk Festival. He shocked everyone by playing an electric set. It was a turning point that did divide fans and musicians, folk musicians, and it changed rock music forever. On July 27th in 1986, Queen's iconic Wembley performance aired on TV. Their electrifying July 12th concert was broadcast, showcasing Freddie Mercury's legendary stage presence, and it solidified the show as one of the band's best. On July 28th in 1992, Madonna began promoting her erotica album and sex book, both of which would go on to spark massive controversy for explicit content, and it pushed the boundaries in pop. Funny how that is what was a big controversy when you think about today's standards sometimes, how it's changed our views and what we tolerate. And on August 1st in 1981, MTV launched and debuted with Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles, which forever changed how music was marketed and consumed and ushered in the age of the music video. That's some music history for you this week.
Could have stood alone for hours and hours on end, cooking in the undertow and kicking off the nets and hooks, yeah. Why don't I move along with just mushrooms left in the dark? Nobody does it alone, I'm not leaving, I am moving on with you.
That was some punchy punk rock grit from Boston trio The Chelsea Curve. Name of that song, Kinda Wanna. C-Mom says it's time for your marketing tip of the week. Post and share your older music or products more than once. This might seem like a no-brainer, but think about what you are selling. I bet you have quite the catalog of items and services. That includes music. Don't just drop something new. Push that and then wait for the next new item to be ready or released. If you want to gain a solid following and have people remember you, you have to keep reminding them of everything you have to offer. And that includes going back to your older music. And as always, if you want to chat more about marketing and promoting your music or brand, you can schedule a consultation with me at dannycutler.com. And you can also subscribe to the newsletter for even more. And there's also the private Facebook group as well. I will have all the links in the show notes, and subscribing to the newsletter would be very wise right now, as I currently have a consultation special going on until the end of August. Right now, for newsletter subscribers, a consultation is $50. The regular price is $99, so definitely a deal. We will dive into all of your digital marketing, talk about your business needs, your wants, and then I will offer suggestions on how to best market your business, along with some tips and tricks to plan ahead that are specific to your business. Again, the link to subscribe will be in the show notes. And now it is time for the new segment I told you about earlier, a music pick of the week. Every Friday, I listen to the release radar on Spotify. It's one of the few things left that justify using the app. Lately, though, my releases haven't been all that great. I have been skipping a lot more music than I usually do. And I try to listen, but sometimes I'm just like, nope, gotta go to the next one. But Valerie Newman made me stop and listen. She is a very prolific singer and songwriter from my area in Massachusetts, and part of a couple music groups on top of solo gigging, The Swaying Trees and Kara and Val. Now, I met Valerie at one of the artist spotlight nights at Diamond Hearts Art Studio. So suddenly hearing her voice come through my speakers with a new single, I was delighted and immediately drawn into the song before I realized who it was who was singing. I hope it feels right for you too. Scene Mom says, listen to Valerie Newman and it feels right.
Slow
Once again, that was Scene Mom's pick of the week of Valerie Newman and It Feels Right. A reminder that all the links to the news and music you hear will be in the show notes. And another reminder, the next Bandcamp Friday is tomorrow, August 1st, if you're listening on Thursday, or today if you're listening on Friday. If you're listening after that, I hope you went and supported some indie artists, as 100% of proceeds went directly to the artists. The next one is September 5th. And a final little reminder that it takes 1,000 streams before Spotify starts to pay an artist, and then it's another 200 or so before they see $1. Meanwhile, on Bandcamp, you can immediately download a song and they get $1 or $2 per download. Obviously, I'm going to die on this hill, but I am so past only supporting indie artists for free. We say support local restaurants. We say support local business, but we never say support local artists in the same way. And I mean by spending money on them. End soapbox. C-Mom says now it's time for some good news this week. Imagine you're gearing up for a night out with a useful accessory. It's a tattoo-like sticker that looks stylish, but it serves a big safety function. It was developed by researchers in South Korea and reported by the Good News Network on July 25th. This temporary skin sticker instantly detects the date rape drug GHB, a colorless, tasteless sedative that is slipped into drinks to incapacitate victims. Now here's how it works. Once you have the tattoo on, the wearer can simply dip a finger into their drink, touch the drink to the sticker, and if GHB is present, the design turns red in under 1 second, even at very low concentrations. The color change remains visible for up to 30 days, which could be very crucial for preserving evidence in case of misconduct. Now, the innovation addresses shortcomings of current testing methods. They're often bulky, slow, or they draw attention, and it makes them impractical in busy social settings. By contrast, the sticker is discreet, inexpensive, and easy to manufacture, and researchers say it could soon become commercially available. Lab testing demonstrated reliability across various beverages, whiskey, vodka, beer, coffee, and even soju, which is a traditional Korean drink, and it had no interference from typical alcohol content. So the next gen tattoo may become this powerful tool in personal safety. It gives people a fast, subtle way to detect spiking drinks, and it gives you some peace of mind during nights out. That is some very good news this week.
The fools around me struggle, seeing the holes they dig isn't my goal, but I can stop them from sealing their doom. All I can do is set myself afloat. Too many in the world seek to destroy. All you gotta do is to employ your senses to the conclusion. Rip yourself away from the devil's illusion. Step away from that senseless path. You can always learn to forgive and laugh, but if you choose not to change a thing, don't be surprised when the loneliness stings. No more chances, alter your stances, or you'll be left behind. We are evolving humans, problem solving, ascension.
from Phoenix, that was an exclusive listen to the new single from Painting Fences called Self-Righteous Assertions. This will be available on all streaming in September, but an early release will be on Bandcamp with the video on August 15th. Painting Fences' new album, Phantoms of Astronomy, will be released in October. I've known these guys for years, and Scene Mom is so proud of how far they've come, and also how they have really honed in on their sound over the years. That's it for episode 67. Links to all of the music and news heard this week will, of course, be in the show notes. If you have any feedback, thoughts, news to share, you can always get in touch on social media. It's C Mom Says on Facebook and D Cutler AZ everywhere else, or email cmomsays@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear, please share. I am also an independent artist. Thanks as always for listening, and you will hear me again soon. You've been listening to the Scene Mom Says podcast. Intro-outro music is Look Good for the Radio by Fairy Bones. Learn more about Danny and the show at dannycutler.com.